and it's the time of year when we start planning for the holidays, and before you know it, making plans for the new year. But one thing Americans are not good at is actually estate planning, which is critical to protecting your family's future.
All right, sit down. This is not the time to get up and get coffee. This is important, okay? Only 1 in 3 Americans have a will, and nearly half of them blame procrastination, thinking, you know, I'm going to get it done eventually, right? 33% of Americans assume they don't have anything to pass down, and 12%, they just don't know where to start. So we're about to fix that with the help of Essex County Surrogate Judge Alturrick Kenney. He's responsible for overseeing the execution of wills and estates. Judge Kenney, thank you so much for being with us this morning.
Good morning.
It's a sensitive topic. A lot of people don't like to talk about the end stage of life and what happens, but this is an important topic. I mean, what are the consequences of not having a plan?
So death is an important conversation to have with family members. It's something that we try to avoid because we don't want to talk about mortality.
Yeah.
But not having a will can actually lead to a number of different things. It can lead to a lot of infighting amongst family members who are trying to determine what did mom and dad want to leave behind for us as children. But it's also to talk about how we lose which is one of our most important assets, which is our properties. Yeah. Some of us purchase homes. We have money in our accounts. What happens next? Where does it go? And so we noticed that not having a will, not having a trust, something in place for whatever financial tools that's proper for you to ensure that those assets go where it needs to go, to provide for those who are here when you're no longer here.
Can you talk about how much it could hurt people financially if you deal with everything after the fact?
Sure. So one of the things that what happens is that we don't have a will.
Yeah.
Big things occur. So a fee for probate. You can also have a large fee for your legal costs. Maybe other professionals like accountants. Those fees come strictly out of your estate. How to bury and where to bury your parents or your loved ones, that can come from your estate as well. So not having something in place, whatever financial tool that you have, can lead to a drain into whatever estate that you want to have for yourself and for your family.
Wow. All right, we'll keep repeating it, but earlier we mentioned that 1 out of 3 Americans have a will, but 2 out of 3 Americans don't even have any type of estate planning documents. I mean, is it a complicated process? Why are so many people having trouble getting started with it?
It's death. It's the hardest thing to talk about, you know, to talk about mortality. And so when we try to convince people to say, listen, you have to have that conversation with loved ones, with family members, and you don't have to be rich to have a will. You can be a person of meager means. Just having something in place to ensure that that infighting is reduced. So whatever you have can go to those loved ones that you truly are considered the most important, even institutions as well. So it's really just starting the conversation about life and the end of life, but also making sure that your legacy is left behind for those whom you love the most.
Yeah, as Craig was talking about some stats, I mean, there's also recent reports that show that 70% of African Americans, that they don't have a will in place. I mean, that, like you said, it really affects future generations.
It boils down to generational.
Yeah.
And so, Craig, one of the biggest things that we found was that the disparity amongst black and white, $186,000 is the average income for white families, and $24,000 for black families. Part of it is your assets, your real estate, what you left behind. In order for us to shrink that gap, having an estate plan, having a will, it needs to be put in place. And it has to be an ongoing conversation that we have to have in our community and have to have conversation across the board.
All right, let's break this down before we let you go. In the simplest terms, the 5 things people need to do to start estate planning.
Sure. First thing, list all your assets. The asset can be a bank account, it can be your real estate, it can be your car. The second thing you want to do is also create a trust. If that's something that it's something that you want to create, depends on your financial situation. Third thing is also list your beneficiaries. Who do you want to get and how much do you want them to have? The fourth thing is you may have a special needs child. You may want to create a trust for that child because it may interrupt or disrupt their access to benefits, Medicaid or SSI. And the fifth thing is just have that tough conversation with those family members.
The simplest thing, have a will.
Just have a will.
This might be very overwhelming, though, for some folks. So where can they go to get help and get guidance?
Sure. So on our website, on EssexCountySurrogate.com, we actually provide a list of different agencies that we work with, that we partner with. But you can also, it depends on wherever you live, contact your local bar association, contact a clinic if you're looking for someone who is not very costly, but also contacting the state attorney. But there's websites that provide how to do a will and create a will that meets your particular needs.
All right. See, that didn't hurt, right, folks?
No.
I'm glad you stayed with us because this is important information here.
Yeah, because it is inevitable, unfortunately.
Unfortunately,
Right.
it is.
Thanks so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.